Yes, that is the real title. No, you did not misinterpret the position. Hello, everybody. This is Conservative Night, and what I have posted here is reality. We are a one party system now in this country. And let me explain myself. And there's a lot that I could say that if I said it, I would get banned for hate speech. But what I am saying here is basically the softened version of what I'd really like to say. The Democratic Party is unelectable at this point. And this is from somebody who voted for Obama in 2008. They're unelectable because they're too soft on these issues of terrorism, on ISIS. I don't think they get it. The Democratic Party does not get it. Whether or not we like it, we are at war. It's not just America, because as you saw with Paris, the entire Western civilization is at war with ISIS. And for people such as Obama to say we cannot discriminate against Muslims, that's just totally unfounded, just because not all Muslims are bad, but ISIS is Islamic. They are Islamic fundamentalists, and they've declared jihad. That is just a fact. It's nothing against the good Muslims. If you're a lifelong Muslim in this country, it doesn't even apply to you. But when you got a president who wants to freely allow in refugees, especially Muslim refugees, it shows he doesn't know what he's dealing with. He gets on television in Turkey and says that we cannot have a religious test. I'm sorry, that's just ridiculous. And this is from a president, mind you, who has had a nonsense policy in Syria from day one that got us into this position. Obama funds rebels, the Syrian Free Army, to fight Assad. ISIS takes the weapons from the Syrian Free Army, breaks off from it, and now we're fighting them. So Obama's policy and strategy is this: we're going to fight ISIS and the enemy of ISIS at the same time. And not only that, but we're not going to work with the Russians. We're not going to work with anybody else who has far superior intelligence than we do on the ground there. See, people don't seem to realize this. Putin did more damage to ISIS in one day of bombing than we did for our entire time. And let me tell you why. It's not because the Russian military is superior. It's because Putin has access to Syrian intelligence. Syria, Assad's been fighting these rebels for a while now. And so, here's the thing: Obama just refuses to pick a side in this fight. He wants to bomb ISIS, and he wants to fund the Syrian Free Army to fight Assad. Which interest do you want? And like I said, this shows that the president does not understand that we are at war. And you got all these Democrats, the Young Turks, who is one that I do very heavy vetting on if you watch my other videos on this channel. They're saying, quoting the Bible, taking in the weak and rescuing them from the wicked. which is completely hypocritical because when it came to fighting Saddam Hussein and freeing their people, what was his reaction then? Is we gotta follow the UN. We gotta follow the UN. That was the mantra. There was nothing about the Iraqi people. Nobody gave a damn about them then. Clinton didn't even bat an eye when Saddam Hussein gassed over 100,000 of his own population when the Kurds rebelled after the first Gulf War. Clinton didn't even bat an eye. There was no refugees, no help, no humanitarian aid, nothing. We didn't give a damn under Clinton. And so, this is why Democrats historically fail when it comes to national security. This is how you get 2 terms of George W. Bush. Not because George W. Bush was a good president. He wasn't, believe me. I don't like him as much as any Democrat. But we had no choice. And we're running into the same thing this election cycle. We have no choice. We have a one-party government. And that sickens me. Because I want 2 candidates to choose from for president. I want 2. That's just you're supposed to have, right? At least 2. I'd like to have more than 2, but that's just the way our system's been. 2 candidates for president. You vote for the Republican or the Democrat. Both should have positions that are debatable. There's nothing debatable about this. You'll hear Democrats, for example, talk about, well, we could screen them. The FBI runs screening. The Young Turks are saying we have the best screening process on earth when George Tenet, the FBI director, just came out and said that we have no capability of screening these people. And let me tell you why. These aren't suit and tie professional James Bond terrorists we're dealing with. They're not terrorists with records. These are kids hired from social media and who don't need anything other than the clothes on their backs to conduct attacks. Because what they do, they can get all the materials for the attacks that they need from here. For example, 9/11. What did they use for 9/11? Box cutters. That was what brought down 3 planes and 2 towers. Box cutters. That's all they used. They didn't have guns. It doesn't take much. Boston Marathon bombing. It's just, you can build bombs out of very simple materials. You can get them right here. And the reason it doesn't normally happen here is because we don't have many extremists running throughout this country. And when we do, they're easily dealt with. They're not funded by many millions of dollars that we already sent them. So here's the thing, and this is, and to the Democrats who have not succumbed to this, the governors who are sticking their necks out there and have the courage to go against their own party, thank you for that. Because we need more of that. We need the Democratic Party itself, the moderates, to rise up and say, we can't have this. There's got to be a line to be drawn. If you're going to go into this path of acceptance, you are going to fail. You're going to fail either by Republicans getting elected or by extremists taking over. It's going to happen one way or the other, and it's already happening in Europe. That's all I have to say. We have one party this election. 2018 midterms, 2020 election. Democrats, I hope you step up your game, national security wise. I hope you take more firm, tough positions. And I hope that we could rein you in back close to the center by that time so that we can have two viable candidates to choose from and a balanced Congress that is not split extremely along ideological lines. Thanks for listening. God bless.